Hey, Carl, why don't you share that flea in the jar story that you were talking about earlier?
And this is totally impromptu. It's not like we had a jar sitting already here or anything. So this is one of my favorite stories. So how it goes is that if you get fleas and put them in a jar, they'll jump out, right? Because they're remarkable jumpers apparently. But if you take those fleas and you put them in a jar and you put the lid on, they try jumping out. I guess they hit their head on the jar lid, and in very short order, like within minutes, they teach themselves they can't jump out of the jar. You can then take the lid off the jar, and those fleas who could easily jump out will sit in there and starve or thirst. They'll die. They'll die from lack of food and water when they could easily jump out because they have trained themselves that they can't do it. Yeah. And so, hearing that, it made me think of the old thing. I can't remember who it is that says this. You can't read your own label when you're inside the jar. And what that means is it's good to have, if you find yourself in your current business right now, like stuck in a jar, you're busy, it just seems a little hectic right now, and man, I don't know which way to turn, and you're trying to figure out how do I get out of this jar, so to speak? How do I have a very successful mortgage business without being all stressed out all the time?
Right.
I see people in forums asking other loan officers in that same situation, how do I get off this and still keep a very robust, growing business? And I'm thinking that, they're asking the wrong people.
Yeah.
You have to ask somebody that's outside the jar. You can't ask another flea in the jar, how do we get out of here? You have to ask somebody on the outside, how'd you do that?
Right.
And when I heard this story, that was a very, very powerful story for me. And I probably heard that story probably about 18 years ago, give or take, 18 years ago now. And it made all the difference in the world. And what I found out was that I would seek, how I call it, wise counsel of people that were outside the jar, that they had these things that I wanted. They had this lifestyle or this income or this business success, and they did it in a way that I wanted to do it. Yeah. And they're doing it while having a good time and enjoying themselves and time off and having a successful business.
Yep. And
so you can't ask other fleas in the jar. You have to ask somebody that's outside that jar. And man, I'd love to have a call with you, either me or somebody on my team. Have a call with you to find out, what are those things that you're doing? Sometimes when we're talking with people, the answer is so obvious, but when you're inside the jar, you just can't see it.
Right.
And it's not that anybody's smarter. We just have I can't see inside my own jar either, by the way, which is why I have people outside my jar to ask questions. It's like a football team. They have one coach down on the field, but they have at least one more at the top of the stadium looking down because they see the whole field. Or in NASCAR, you have the driver in the car, but he doesn't go by what he sees. He has what's called a spotter. Yep. That's literally about a half a mile away. Wow. Up in the stands, about probably 300, 400 feet up, with a radio and a set of binoculars, because he or she can see the whole track and help guide the driver around the track, because he can only see the car in front, the car behind. He can't see what's ahead or what's behind catching up with him.
Yeah, looking at the bigger picture.
Looking at the bigger picture. Yeah. And so what we'd like to do, if you're interested, is we'll schedule a call. You'll tell us a little bit, there's a link on this page, and how it works is you'll tell us a little bit about your business, what you're doing, what's working for you. Do you have a team? Do you not have a team? Loan officer, branch manager, district manager, company owner. And so we can best prepare for that call, and we'll do a one-on-one call with you and show you the things that we see, talking with literally thousands of loan officers across the nation, right. I'd say on a weekly basis. Yeah. And about how do you get outside that jar. And we've trained ourselves into thinking But if I want to make more money, if I want to be more successful, I'm going to have more headaches and I'm going to work more hours. And that is not the truth. That is absolutely not the truth. The loan officers that you and I know, including loan officers in my own branch, as I'm a branch manager, the most successful ones have the evenings and weekends off because they're able to recharge their batteries. So I'm thinking of Suzanne Downs.
Yeah.
So Suzanne Downs, mortgage broker down in the Fort Lauderdale area, and this lady is knocking out of the park. I'm one of her hugest fans. She's one of the leaders in our Freedom Club, and I was just talking with her this morning. Her name just popped in my head, and I guarantee she's outside the jar.
Yep.
You know, she goes on at least a vacation like once a month, like literally.
Yeah.
And has a thriving business that very few loan officers have. So anyway, click on the link. Tell us a little bit about yourself so we can prepare for the call, and we'll take a look. No charge. We'll take a look to see what you're doing and look for ways that we can help you, and we'll map out a plan for you. And if you decide to take that plan and do it on your own, totally cool. If you'd like us to help you implement that plan, once we work it out together, well, we can talk about how that works either. But either way is totally cool. So yeah, don't ask other fleas in the jar. Ask somebody outside the jar. So
Insightful stuff.
that's my fleas in the jar story.
I like that story.
I like that story too.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Hey, looking forward to talking to you.